My goal was to create food from ancestries that are passed down that look completely horrible. How do I modernize it to make your everyday person want to try and want to eat it?
I wanted to create something for the community, for the beer, and have in Union City, my hometown. I've gone through it all, and nobody gives you a manual to do any of this.
Here
we are in San Francisco, actually Berkeley.
Berkeley, California.
This is a new studio for us, so you're the first two on the couch.
Awesome.
First ones, baby.
I'm Amy.
Amy, hello.
I'm the
Hey,
host
Amy.
of the Get Busy podcast,
Yes.
and I'm here with Chef Dean
Hello.
and Aaron, the Lone Crow and Birdhaus Brewery.
Yes.
So, your story is, first of all, you have quite a story to tell because you have, I'm trying to think of how to start with this because you have, Chef Dean, we were talking earlier, and you have sort of come up from a scrappy background,
Yes.
right? But the one thing that has driven you is your love of cooking.
Definitely. It's I think in life you have to even wherever you go or how you grow up, there's always something that you get connected to, you get really a love for, and then it kind of helps you evolve and be a better person. And
Yeah.
that was food for me. That was the love where I could do anything in the world, anything fucked up could happen to me, but if I could cook, my mind state is zen.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the zone every time.
Yes,
you're in the zone.
call it tunnel vision. When riding motorcycles, tunnel vision.
That's focus.
Focus. So
Yeah.
I fell in love with it, and it honestly saved me from going different routes, doing different things. Pretty much fucking zens me and makes me more calm than anything else in this world. I could have the bad day, but you just sit down and focus and cook, and the creativity comes out. I have so much fun doing it.
Right.
But there's much more I can say about it though.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. And I think a lot of people will relate to, the challenges, of your environment and how you are raised, but finding that one thing that keeps you on a path, right?
Yes.
Your story is very much one of a journey, sort of an accidental journey born of the love of cooking,
Yes.
right? And the love of creating this community that you guys have started. Now, Aaron, let's talk about your background, and then I want to talk about how you found each other, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Your motorcycle, your sports car, right? How does this come together?
I like to call it two birds with a feather fly together.
Yeah, it's ironic how he's the lone crow and I'm a bird, the bird of the birdhouse. So it's two birds that came together, and we
were those
community
names
for us.
established before you found each other?
Yes, it was.
That
yes.
is very
It
weird.
Was,
That
it was
is
very
very
ironic
weird.
because it's two birds. He was like, wow, he's
was-
a lone crow and birdhouse.
So you're the brewer.
Well,
Yeah.
we're a beer garden, so
Yeah.
I only started off. I started off as a food truck owner before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I migrated to a beer truck, so I have a beer truck also. And then at the time, me and my cousin were looking for a beer garden or a tap room in Oakland. Just didn't work out. And then a friend of mine just called out of the blue in 2019 and said, "Hey,
Was it was this something that you always wanted to do, or was it something that just happened?
It's more like something just happened. Just came out of the blue, and I acquired the location, and we just started.
Was it business
building.
or was it passion that drove you to
It
this?
was more of the passion for the business of the beer. Because
Okay.
I wanted to create more something for the community, for the beer, and have in Union City, my hometown. So, and then everything just came together the way it was, and I've gone through it all, and it was more of a learning experience for everything, because nobody gives you a manual to do any of this stuff.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was an eye opener for me.
Yeah. But it sounds like this was, business. This was a business decision,
Yes.
versus Chef Dean, who's singular in his focus on creating food
Yes.
and a vibe, right?
Yeah.
You're a vibe creator from everything that I've read, but you're the business side.
Yeah, I'm more the business person, but at the same time, I had to mainly focus on what was happening at that current time, because when pandemic hit, I had to be creative,
Yeah.
and not close down, and I just had to be like,
How
okay,
did you
do we
do that?
this?
How did you do that? Because a lot of people in the food industry did close down.
Yeah, it was a lot of help from various people that were in the business already. Like my cousin, he was there helping me because he had to close down his bar just to help me because he was bored. And then at the same time, it was kind of like, well, we need to be more creative. How do we open? We opened May 2020, and then we still had a line. We had a line at that
That's
time.
amazing.
Yeah, and then this is before when Dean came in.
Yeah.
I had a different chef at the time, but the last chef left because of the pandemic.
Right.
So, and then I had to be creative on finding a new chef, which my brother-in-law knew him from high school, and reached out to him and said, "Hey,
Oh, okay.
Dean,
Yeah, it was,
my brother-in-law needs a chef."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, who the fuck? Your brother's the owner of Birdhaus?"
Yeah,
Like,
it was,
holy shit!
yeah,
so
it was crazy.
it was ironic. It was just like we
it just
knew each other
worked
somehow.
in. Yeah.
And he came on board, and then he's like, "What do you need me to do?" I said, "I need you to create a menu."
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and
Well,
then
it's like, yeah, the menu and
But what experience did you have, like coming into this? Like, how did you?
the situation?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of restaurant experience, had a lot of cooking experience. I've been in the industry for a while, consulting and creating, developing, how to develop a brand to create that brand into a profitability brand, create a menu to a profitability menu. Those are the things I've done for a lot of restaurants, consulting and creating.
Okay.
And during the pandemic, I started my own, which was Lone Crow. I had nothing else to do. So
you were doing things out of your house, right?
Yeah, so
beforehand.
Yeah, so I was, my other good friend, business partner, his name's Ganny. Me and him were actually cooking this menu in my house, and I was just on Instagram like, "Yo, if you guys want to buy food, hit me up, cause I ain't got no money, I ain't got no job." So I started doing that, and then that kind of fucking exploded.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people were just like, "Oh, chef's actually doing his own concept," because I was always helping concepts. I was always concept developing, always helping people create what was in their head into food form to make, a company profit or something. So when I started myself, I was very overwhelmed. I was super overwhelmed with like people like, "Oh, I'm going to be at your house in like 5 minutes." I was like, "Oh shit, this is like legit." And then I started that for like 2 months, 3 months, and it just kind of exploded. And his nephew, his cousin contacted me. I was like, brother-in-law. Sorry about that. Sorry.
It's okay.
He contacted me. He's like, "Yo, fucking link up with my fucking brother-in-law." And I was like, "All right, what does he do?" Because I didn't know. And he's like, "Oh, just come over here." So I went. I was like, "Oh shit, there's a fucking beer garden in my old city I used to grow up in." Funny thing was, that restaurant was Pine Garden, which was a Chinese restaurant. When I was a kid, I used to actually go. So it was cool to transition and stop doing what was in the garage and just be like, "Yo, let's link up. Let's create
something here in our own city."
Yeah. And the biggest thing was creating a concept that would work in the spaces that I was given with Aaron. Like, he was like, "Yo, just fucking create something that would work," and
it would just continue and evolve from there. We would evolve.
And it's been fun. It's been just a lot of excitement.
He's coming up on 4 years.
Yeah.
Right now. I already hit my 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I opened. I started. I remember that day I started. I was like, "Is this shit really happening?" Like,
well, there was nothing in the beer garden.
Yeah, there was literally
basically blank. It was just maybe a couple
Wow.
furniture.
Yeah, it was literally. And so like I did it. Obviously, I marketed it. We went crazy.
Yeah.
Ganny was marketing it, and then the first day, November 20th, 2020. There was almost like 700 people just fucking waiting to get food.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we had a line.
How
it was
did
overwhelming.
So we're in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
The Bay Area is a tough market.
It is.
To start a restaurant or anything that there's regulations,
Yes.
laws, a very intense competitive climate. How did you get a toehold and have 700 people waiting? Was it marketing or was it like?
It was mainly like Dean marketing this stuff, and then he had a lot of.
How did you market?
Well, the biggest thing I wouldn't say marketing. I'd say storytelling. Where
he would do the storytelling.
There's a lot of people who followed my journey, or followed like what I've done in the restaurants and everything else. So it was a big news for when Lone Crow started to 3 months after teaming up with Birdhaus, opening up inside, and for me to open up my own menu. A lot of people kind of been waiting for that. So I took the leap and I was like, "Fuck it, let's fucking try it." But also the challenges, I wanted to be more sit down, dine in, but obviously during the pandemic, you have to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work. You got to go with the punches and figure out ways to create a profitability business in food that's not going to be an overhead, but it's going to be able to so please. One of my friends, his restaurant's called Soli. They believe this thing called fast fine, and I do the same thing.
Say that again.
Fast fine.
Okay.
Which is similar to like quality food, fast fine dining in a way where we care about our product. We do things from scratch. We cook things to order. Only thing frozen we have are fucking French fries. So everything we do is strictly sharing the story to this space in Union City that hasn't been done, that's culinary driven, to let our customers know that when you come in, we're getting things from the farmers market next door to the park from us. We're actually concentrating on food quality. We're concentrating on service, which is the biggest thing. But when you come in, you're getting quality food and not you're getting what you're suspected to get. You know, the health standards or the creativity from a chef where it's like, oh wow, they take their time to like figure things out. And I think with that really exploded the market where people started coming in because I was exposing how we cooked. And I think that's a big thing in marketing for food, where a lot of restaurants or a lot of things where it's kind of like, here's a beautiful photo of the thing. And for me, I wanted people to see the progress and see what daily operations were, because that's the truth.
So it sounds like you built you had a community before you actually formed a partnership.
Yeah. I had my own following with the beer crowd.
Right.
And then the teachers across the street and everybody came out and
worked.
You know, and I wanted to create something more. We would carry a lot of the local craft beers and maybe some hard to find beers that we can only have and nobody else has. You know?
Do you do non-alcoholic beer? That's like the number one selling beer in America right now is non-alcoholic.
Yeah, we sell kombucha too. That that has alcohol too. So, I mean, we serve variety for everybody. It doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
But yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about the distinction between the lone crow. By the way, a very underrated bird. They're super smart.
Super smart. I love crows.
Yeah, they're super cool, and they're represented in art and throughout history. And so I want to like what that brand is, and Birdhaus, and like how you blend the brands, but also keep your distinct identity. Yeah. So, Aaron, let's start with you.
Sure, But so Birdhaus is basically more of the outdoor community beer garden type of feel that we want to have, where we can have like small events, big events. We can have small food vendors that come in. I want to help them out and basically help them grow in the future, because without them, they wouldn't help me grow.
Right.
You know, it goes both ways. You know, like I would help, like for instance, his cousin during pandemic in 2021, Max by Icky, by the way. Yep. So they came on. They asked him and asked me and say, "Hey, can we do a small pop-up?" And I said, "Sure. I don't see why not." I was like, "They don't know you. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows me."
So you did a pop-up in
the Birdhaus. Correct.
Okay.
In the beer garden and outdoor space, and then it started evolving from there, from one vendor to 4 vendors to 8 vendors, and now we try to do this every month to have a community event.
That's amazing.
In the beer garden.
I love the whole concept of pop-ups, right? Because they're there and then they're gone, right? From a business model perspective, it keeps your costs low. It's not a fixed location. There's no real estate. But also very successful businesses have been born from the pop-up model.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're doing is you're giving people a chance.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I like to give them a chance so when they market, I market. So we all market together, even though it's free marketing, you know what I mean? Or it's maybe a little bit of fee paying for any kind of advertisement. Like everybody comes to me and say, "Hey, how can I start to get in here?" Then I start to learn everything, like the process from the health department to everything, like spacing and it becomes nerve-wracking at some certain times.
Oh yeah.
And we do this a lot, like on Sundays a lot, and Saturdays when chef wants to do like a night market, which we'll probably end up doing in probably
what's
November,
a night market?
So like
I'll let him explain the night market. But
so I'm like, for me and Aaron, we both love helping people. We love seeing the biggest thing in life is growth. It's not just yourself. It's how do you help people? Like he referenced my little cousin Mac Icky. She was fucking amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She fucking blew
I read
up.
her story.
She's fucking dope. Like when she contacted me when I started Lone Crow and we were at Birdhaus, she's like, "Yo, cuz I want to get there." I want to make her life
Yes.
a serious, like a baker, like be legit what it is. And I always tell people like, people take like a safety route. They'll do like a regular job and then like their hobby. And I was like, sometimes you just got to go 100% because when you do like your regular job and you have like a safety net, it's not going to force you to keep going to like, I'm going to achieve this fucking goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that little girl, she fucking achieved the goals. Like
the whole family.
Her and Frankie, they always call to ask for help. And I just wanted to let them, put a little shout out for them.
For sure.
They asked for help and I was always on the phone with them helping. And then, I would like to say they did it themselves. Anyone could do it themselves as long as like you're 100% with it. Like what he says, like my boy Frankie says, stick to the script, and whatever you want to do, just keep going.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped with where we're at. So the night market started with my love for crafts.
Yeah.
Besides this, I had an art company with my best friends called House of Godspeed, where we helped artists get a creative space here on High Street where it's affordable. You could be in a community space where you could get creative with each other. So the night market developed with that idea. Me and Aaron were like, yo, let's create this event where we could bring in multiple vendors, multiple arts and crafts people it was for Christmas. And I really wanted to drive that community base where like, don't buy your shit from Amazon. Don't buy your shit at Target,
Buy
even
from
though
a local artist.
buy it from someone who makes it from hand.
Yeah.
And that concept just blew. So like
It blew up.
it blew up.
It didn't
like,
blow.
It blew up.
Let's just
it
be
blew
clear.
up. It fucking blew up.
Very
But
popular.
it was something that was beautiful for me, like, and Aaron, because it's just helping the community,
Yeah.
building something in a city that didn't have it. There was no markets in Union City. There wasn't a place where like you could come and just have this experience where it's just not me and his spot. It's an
Right.
everybody's spot.
Yeah.
So that's how the night market started, and we just kind of blew up with it. And just to like backpack on what like he said about the beer garden, we close on Sundays. I do believe in creating this concept where it's in every restaurant you get burnt out. You're working weekdays, so we both agreed, and we wanted to create a space where you could still be a work-life balance.
Yeah.
But also being off, it gives
That's
an
hard to
opportunity.
do
Well,
in the
I work on
restaurant
Sundays,
industry.
so
I
he's
know.
off, but
I
I
work-
create the event space on Sundays.
I think
so.
it sounds good, to say it, but it like in practice, it's really
it's
hard
really
to pull
hard.
that off.
Yes.
But one of the things you were saying, Chef Dean, it is so important, and we don't hear it enough from creatives and entrepreneurs and business people. But the whole idea of community and lifting people up is so much a part of what true entrepreneurship is, right?
It
It's
is.
not just about, Silicon Valley chasing
No.
venture capital. It's about bringing people up with you, which is one of the things about your story, and also about what you're saying right now, that I think is a really good learning for entrepreneurs out there and startups as well. You know what I mean? And you just don't hear a lot of founders talking like that.
No,
right?
no. I mean, it's all based on experience. too.
Yeah.
Experience and growth and everything. So I'm still learning every day. I still learn from my mistakes and learn from other vendors and other people, and I learn from Dean and learn from all my employees there.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I can't grow without the people that
Yeah.
are with us and our team and everybody.
So where do you go? The pandemic was the pandemic, and nobody really likes to look back on that. And I agree, right? Because it was a pretty dark part of our history. But as you're going forward, right, and you I don't know what your plans are for growth or what that strategy is, but how do you advise, or what's your wisdom for planning? Do you plan for something like the pandemic, or do you just forge ahead, right? How do you, right? There will be another pandemic, but do you worry about, or is it like motorcycle riding? What you just don't focus on the pothole.
The biggest thing I would honestly say for people who are worried or figuring about it, it's like I said earlier, roll with the punches.
Yeah.
If you worry too much,
I agree with that.
Just keep
you gotta
moving
roll with
forward.
it.
Just keep
it's like
moving
life,
forward.
right?
Learn
It's
from
not
it,
just
keep going.
business.
Yeah.
You can just be afraid
Yeah.
every single day, or you can just plow forward and be great.
Yeah. Well, you're going to go through a bunch of shit, but you're going to figure it out right away, and you're going to fix your corrections. And then at the end of the day, I think you'll be okay if you just roll with it. Instead of kind of always worrying like this might happen. We're not going to know what happened.
It's no fun.
There's no fun in life.
No.
It's not fun in life.
I had to
always
wake up
have
every
figure it
day
out.
with a mask on and be at the forefront of
Yeah.
taking
Yeah, you
orders.
were on the
know?
front
I was
line.
in
Yeah,
the
he
front
was-
line.
Yeah.
I was taking orders, and I was just like,
Yeah.
okay,
I was the
Wait
guy.
over
It
there.
was literally
Wait
just
over
us
there.
two. It was
You
fucking
know?
crazy.
like
It was a crazy experience, but
Yeah. No, we won't dwell on the pandemic.
no, it was fucking
no,
fun.
it was a good learning
yeah.
experience.
It was
from
for
it, yeah.
everybody. You know,
I think
you learn
everyone
a
in the
lot about
restaurant,
yourself.
everyone in the
Yeah.
restaurant field, a lot of my friends who own restaurants here in Oakland, San Francisco, I think we all talked and like during that pandemic, they're like, what the fuck do we do? And I was like,
Oh.
and I was telling them my plan, I was like, fuck it, we're just gonna fucking roll
Just
with
keep
it.
Roll.
going.
You gotta
Right, like,
roll.
I mean-
switch the style up and understanding that like dine-in's not dine-in no more. So how do we create profitability? So how do we keep afloat for our employees and be like, all right, let's move to this system.
Yeah.
Let's create this whole new plan to hopefully keep our building alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
So-
had to create more. We had just to create a lot of different things day by day
Yeah.
and be more creative on like weekends. Like, okay, how do we get more customers? How do we
Yeah.
Yeah,
how do
it
we
was-
stay alive? And how do we
it
just
was,
keep implementing different things? You know, like him on the creativity side on the kitchen, he'd be like, okay, I'm gonna cut
Yeah.
this menu item out. I'm gonna put this one in here.
Yeah, it's a lot of
But he
Just to
takes
create a
care of
hype.
that, so you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
have to worry about
So
it.
me, I
right?
take care of like the specialty beers that nobody
Yeah.
can get.
Right.
So
Yeah,
like, you know,
he-
like,
he
oh,
be
I
getting
need
some
this.
crazy
I need to get
beers.
this. And it's like, oh, we need to create something with sake. We make it
Oh, yeah.
slushy
Yeah.
out of a sake
Yeah.
instead of high end, you know, like rum or tequila.
Yeah.
So that's what we had to do, create something totally different to entice everybody to come by
Yeah.
and hang out.
And so, like, I don't mean to sound like an armchair psychologist, but let me
Oh.
just go down this path
Yes.
really quickly. So, you have very different personalities.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Totally different approach. You know, a little bit of left brain, a whole lot of right brain. I think you know who I'm talking about here
Oh,
on the
yeah,
couch.
this guy. This
Yeah.
guy's always like
I'm fucking
110.
I'm always if you talk to any chefs, we're
Yeah,
always at
he's-
110
Yeah.
at a
he's-
time. We're fucking ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm
no.
more of the serious person
Yeah.
where it comes to like, okay, I need to make sure everything is working correctly. All the staff members are good. There's nothing like messing up in our
Yeah.
Right.
way. Like he would call, hey, printer's not working. Oh
Like-
shit, I gotta go in there and
Yeah,
figure it
it's-
out.
honestly,
Online
it'd be like,
order. I'm like,
it'd be like the
I gotta
littlest
do
shit.
this. It's like-
It'd be the littlest things. I'm like, Eric,
like, oh.
fix this. I ain't got time. Fix
And
this.
we're we ran out of paper. I'm like, oh damn, I had to go pick up some stuff. You know, I would have to be the go get this, go
Yeah.
do that. Can you do this? Go do that.
Yeah.
I'll be the quiet one, but then when things start getting rolling, I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, now I need to
Yeah.
focus on what I need to be
How do you,
focusing
in
on.
a partnership with you know, extraordinarily different personalities, how do you manage conflict
With
with each other?
communication, biggest thing.
Yeah, it's all
It's
communication. We text
communication.
back and forth. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and you
okay,
just
hey,
work
we just
through
need
it.
to
Yeah,
talk
it's
through
it's
it.
like
Yeah.
every day. It's yo, this shit happened. What are we gonna do to fix it? You know, I feel like in partnerships or even in relationships and business, when if you're just
Or
100%
relationships anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah,
life.
anywhere.
It's not
It
just
is.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think you just need to be 100% straight up with the situation for there to not be conflicts because you already said it. So it's
Yeah.
like if there's something wrong, like yo, this is how I feel right now. Okay, we're good. We can
Okay,
talk.
let's
Let's fucking
yeah.
let's move
Right.
Because
Um,
we can't just bicker and
on. Yeah,
we
it's
just
not
have
No,
to
gonna
fix
last.
the problem.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a waste of time.
So I think that's one of the things. The biggest thing we have with us, staff, everybody is just pure communication.
Yeah.
Once it's said, let's move on.
Right.
Let's just fucking move on.
Yeah.
And we try to make it a fun environment
Oh,
for
yeah.
all of us.
No,
So
you
it's-
get that
yeah.
that vibe totally.
Exactly.
comes
I mean,
through.
that's why people are still there for
Yeah.
a long run. You know, it's like, oh, we want to be here too because it's fun. It's fun, but it's still work.
Yeah.
You know. And,
Oh, that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want that in
That's
life.
how it's supposed
Yeah,
to be.
in life,
you
life.
know?
If you gotta say I gotta go to work, or I have work on Monday, you fucking hate what you do.
Yeah.
But like for me, I tell my cooks, I tell our staff, like it's crazy because this is the first time you guys could say, "Damn, I get to go to work."
Yeah.
We get to go to work.
Yeah.
We get to cook. We get to serve beer. We get
Yeah.
to
I love
cook this for
that.
people.
You don't have
Um,
to. You
you
get
don't have
to.
to.
and
You
then
get
some of
to.
my beer garden staff is like, you don't need to be here. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't need to be
Yeah.
here? Like we got it
Where else
covered.
am I going to be?
And
right?
I'm like, okay, well, you guys got it covered. I'm like, well, I have to be here because I have to make sure everything's running
Yeah.
right. And
Right.
then, you know, if not,
But we, you know,
but
what the-
yeah, it
we're-
still works out though.
It works
with
out. We're at this
everything.
part.
Yeah.
We're at the stage where it's just like we have to trust and just let it run.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, for us,
Trust.
it's just piggybacking.
Trust is,
Trust is
such
a big word.
It is
But
the
without,
key.
but without business, if you don't trust and let go, your business isn't gonna grow
Yeah.
because your staff don't grow, your employees don't grow.
Well, your staff will leave.
yes,
Yeah.
you got to give them the chance to be like, be free, do this. I trust you.
Yeah.
But if it fucks up, yes, I will fix it.
You're right.
You know, you
Right.
just gotta be like, hey, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Fucking, let's just let it ride.
So sort of in wrapping this up, and thank you for your time and
Oh,
your
yeah.
transparency, and it's deeply, deeply appreciated, I think,
Yeah.
by our viewers and by me. So my question is, so there are a lot of dreamers out there
Yeah.
who romanticize going into the restaurant business
Yes.
and are ill-equipped when they get there and they fail. Like 85% of new
Yes.
restaurants take a dirt nap within the first year. So what is your advice to these startups and these dreamers? Like what do you say to them that you must do to take that first step to becoming a restaurant owner?
I'll say the restaurant part. That'd be,
Well, I
go
would
ahead.
probably say on my part, I would say keep asking questions to other business owners on,
Yeah.
like, if they have a lot of complications, like, how do I get past this? How do I do this? It's like you're not alone out
Yeah,
there.
so like
There's still
have
a lot.
a support system.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Like if you have like friends and family or other restaurant owners or bar owners, that's the big key.
Yeah.
Because for me, my cousin was my cousin Mike, and he's been in the restaurant world. I mean, in the bar scene and in the club scene. So
Yeah.
he's been in bartending scene. So I would ask him, hey, how do you do this and how do you do that? So he would be my support person as far as that part. I mean, for him on the kitchen part, I'm sure he has a lot
Yeah.
of
I mean,
experience to deal with.
there's
The
a-
kitchen
yeah,
part is
there's
the
a lot.
the part that
Yeah.
fails.
I don't know that
That's-
part. I'm
yeah.
just like, I don't know.
I feel with every restaurant I've worked with, every restaurant I worked at, you want to be a successful restaurateur, you want to open up your own business in food. The biggest advice I would say is jump in there first and work somewhere.
Yeah.
You could have a dream and be like, oh, I want to open this up, but it's something like even Anthony Bourdain said, like, people think chefs are celebrities until, like they see all the celebrity chefs and then people go to culinary school and then they work in their first job and they're fucking dreading it.
Yeah.
My biggest advice is literally, if you think about you want to be a chef, you think about you want to be a restaurateur, you want to create a business in food, talk to people, like Aaron said, find resources, but obviously put your foot in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you might open up that restaurant and be like, oh shit, I didn't sign up for fucking working.
Right,
I didn't
right.
sign up for
Yeah.
working 15 hours a day.
Right.
I didn't sign up to clean the bathrooms with a fucking mop or detail the kitchen every day for the health inspector. So my biggest suggestion is literally, if you want to get in the field, what we do and
Mhm.
what other chefs around I know do, work in a kitchen or work in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Know what it
Get that
feels like.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta feel that first.
Yeah. You
and
can't
then-
just jump in blind.
No.
Yeah,
Right.
because
No.
we're first in and first out.
Yeah.
I mean, last out of there.
Yeah.
You know?
Always.
That's
Yeah.
how it always is. The
That's
first
just
couple
what
of
you
years
sign
is
up
still
for.
Yeah,
You
it's-
know,
it is.
It's
a lot of
part
work.
the deal.
A lot of work.
You know what
and
I forgot to
dedication.
ask?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
This is on me, and I'm sorry about this. Let's talk about the food. Like, what kind of food?
Oh fuck.
Yeah,
At the
this guy
Lone
here.
Crow, like, what do we got
shit.
going on?
So Lone Crow, it's pretty much I call it island inspired cuisine.
Yeah,
So it's
I saw
pretty much
that on your Instagram.
Thank you.
What even is it though?
So it's pretty much Filipino
Okay.
Hawaiian influence, but other island theme or island inspired techniques that I use. A lot of it's inspired from my family in Makawa, Maui. They inspired me a lot. Every summer I'd go there, every week, just learning the culture more. My background being Filipino, so I kind of wanted to put things together in a different way, not your local regular lunch plate, but really create dishes that no one would kind of eat.
What are the flavors though? Is that?
Oh, we're getting.
Is it like pineapple?
Oh no.
Because I don't like
no,
pineapple.
we don't.
And I
It's-
just want to make sure there's
it's
no
not like
pineapple.
when people say Hawaiian. No, it's not pineapple.
Okay.
I'm talking about like I don't even do lumpia there. I do zero lumpia.
don't
I
even
stay
know what
away
lumpia
from
is.
like your common dairy food. There's a dish that I'm strongly proud about. It's called Lying, which is a
How do you spell that?
Laing.
Okay.
It is literally looks like cream of spinach. It looks fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
But my goal was to create food from ancestries that are passed down that
Yes.
look
Okay.
completely horrible.
Yeah.
How do I modernize it to make your everyday person
Yeah.
want to try and want to eat it? So all my dishes constructed from something that no one wants to eat. And how do I modernize it to make it more inviting?
Right.
But yes, I'm known for that lying we do. I'm known for like our mochiko chicken, which is a ginger garlic roasted chicken, deep fried in potato starch, gluten free. Everything cut from in-house, everything
Yes.
battered in-house, everything done in-house. But we have amazing fusion food where I switch it up. Fall's coming in, so
Yeah.
stews are gonna come in. Everything I get local from certain like farmers and purveyors here, and then I create dishes from my past, from my grandma, my grandpa, family trips, but the dishes that you're normally not going to eat in a Filipino or a Hawaiian establishment. I wanted it to be something where if you're like hardcore Hawaiian or hardcore Filipino, like, oh shit, I know that dish, but it doesn't look like that dish.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to come see. That's where it's like, you know, I did something after like staying in New York for a long time. We kind of been blowing up for this thing called seasick chopped cheese. Cheese.
What is that?
So chopped cheese is it's a sandwich based in New York, famous in bodegas. Going out there, Frank's was like the first founder, I think '95. He ran out of burger buns, so he started creating chopped cheese where he fucking put on French bread.
Okay.
And so I wanted to create another concept like that in the Bay or in our establishment. And sisig is a famous Filipino dish, which consists of usually pork parts, pork ears, sizzled on a cast iron, lemons, soy, salts, sweet, savory, sugar, all of that together. So imagine all that stuff in a fucking sandwich, chopped with polverone, cheddar, on a French bread. That's kind of what we've been fucking making like crazy. We've been going through like hundreds of those.
That's awesome.
So
it's been a hit ever since all these influencers.
But yeah, that's pretty much a little gist of the food. Obviously, people are viewing. If you guys want to see more, taste more, don't be scared. Come hide. I mean, come to the fucking restaurant and come taste it yourself and see what we created and see what we built.
Yeah.
To inspire everyone.
Yeah, no, it's great. Your story is so inspiring, and I am immensely relieved that you do not have pineapple, which belongs only in rum.
I like to say pizza though.
Pizza.
I'm a fucking
pizza guy.
See, now we're gonna have an argument. See, I have an argument with everybody, but have you had pineapple?
No.
Jalapenos,
And
pepperoni on a pizza?
This is this guy right here.
No.
Come on. All right. I try. I'm going to get you one day. It's going to work. You're going to like it. Trust me. Trust.
Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you. I appreciate
thank you.
That was
Thank
lovely.
you.
Yes.